Okay, so why did you decide to come to the University of Chicago?
Well,
The core curriculum, it's fantastic. It's just a world ready to be cracked open.
A true sense of camaraderie between your fellow students.
Life of the mind.
I want to be around that energy.
As we were reading this, I just felt my mind open.
Diverse community of people with different ideas and perspectives.
Indulge yourself in this life of mind mentality.
I want to share my knowledge with everyone around me. That's why I'm here.
It's the best, you know. I've been to so many different places, and none of them hold a candle.
At U Chicago, we have something different. We have knowledge, mind, intellect, books, thinking, thoughts, synonyms. You know, the like, and such, as it were.
This all makes sense when you become one with your mind.
Well, you know, it is really rigorous, but every time I get an assignment in my Hume class, I see it and I read it and I know that it's going to contribute to this awesome understanding of the world that I have and that's developing every time I pick up my pencil and start answering those questions.
Go anywhere in the world, I don't care. Rome, Spain, anywhere. None of it will beat you, Chicago.
Every little paper, every little assignment, every PISA just contributes to the life of the mind, and that's why I'm here.
This vibrant, just world-minded, mind-minded community here at the University of Chicago.
So the University of Chicago basically is Chicago. Like they're one and the same. So I mean, when you're on campus, you're basically in the city. And when you're in the city, you're basically on campus.
The University of Chicago is one with the city of Chicago. I mean, look at the name. The University of Chicago.
Totally integrated into the city. You know, I live in I House, and when I walk to the dining hall, Kathy Dining Hall, 15 minutes away, I cross the Midway. That's the city of Chicago right there. I've left the campus, I'm on the Midway, it is free territory, I'm a free-range chicken.
I'm always in the city. I'm always downtown, you know, I'm always doing fun stuff and, you know, rigorous discourse about the city and all that greatness.
Time I was walking through the city of Chicago, and I saw a person reading Hegel. I'm like, dang, people do that at the University of Chicago too. So it's like the same. Do you feel me? It's like one's feeding on the other one's feeding on the other one. It's almost as if, you know, if you were to make a Venn diagram of the University of Chicago and the city of Chicago, it's like there'd be a circle. Don't eat, don't sleep, don't breathe. Except if it's expanding your intellect.
Yeah, everything here is fantastic. You can do anything you want.
Have fun.
Intellectual hotspot,
Mindful life.
Community.
extracurriculars,
Legacy.
Rigorous.
house culture,
Core curriculum.
all encompassing school.
Time to go. Diverse community.
Will be the
Ranked number
Anywhere else.
to contribute. They're already know what I
Things that
just made.
understand. Stand.
It's there.
Cut. Okay. Do you have a more real answer?
Yes, I have definitely more real answers.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. For one, always start off with more. Just when you're kind of going through, especially your classes and clubs and this is where you want to spend your time, it's really overwhelming. And more than it being overwhelming, you don't really know where anything is, I guess. You have to do a lot of independent research to figure out where things are and what you have to seek out opportunities for yourself. So I guess some of the regrets I have are that I didn't look well enough into all the possible classes I could take and all the possible routes I could go into to fulfill my requirements, because there are some really incredible classes here. And I feel like if you have to finish your requirement for something, you should do it in the most interesting and fun way possible for yourself.
That question again, and I'll do a genuine answer
Okay.
that isn't bullshit.
Why did you decide to come to the University of Chicago?
Well, it seemed like a good choice. They gave me some money. I like money. I'm trying to be genuine. Why did I come?
I think it's funny that this is the harder part of it for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm I'm doing over the top stuff for most of my life, in proportion percentage wise. I don't like being genuine. But, I came to the University of Chicago. It's so weird because I feel myself slipping into because the people, because the atmosphere, because the life of the mind. And I feel like that's just, it's going to be more cheesy than when I was trying to be cheesy.
Right. Is that the genuine reason, though? But also, like, what does life of the mind mean? Because I never really got that.
I don't understand. Yeah, the life of the mind is completely stupid. Plus, it doesn't, I assume that all universities want you to have a life of the mind, or a mindful life, or whatever that means. So I don't think it gives any reason that Chicago is special.
Okay, so why did you decide to come to the University of Chicago?
Well, you do your research into colleges, and you want to make sure that you go to one where, you feel like you can get the most out of it. And so, applying to this school, I realized, it was an intellectual hotspot, it was, people who were really invested in their majors, and I thought, I like studying, I like education, so, this might be a good place for me. And so when I came to visit the campus and I saw that, people, they really liked their majors, they were passionate about it, and, they were passionate about their activities and their extracurriculars, I just kind of thought, I want to be around that energy. I want to learn around those kind of people, so.
So I kind of wanted to leave home. I'm from Florida, and I think kind of the most opposite you can get is kind of Chicago, I guess. The weather's different, everything's different. I wanted to go somewhere where I was going to be challenged, but somewhere where I also, had a community, and, I feel like with the house system especially, that, I was definitely able to find a community of, people that I could be involved with. Yeah, I'm not always the best at, making friends or finding people, so I felt like if I went to a big school where there wasn't really any specific group of people that I could be with, I would have a lot of trouble with that. So I think that this is where I want to go.
What do you really think of the core?
Yeah, the core is I like the core. I feel like the core is a good sort of structural backbone to the academic experience here. If there weren't a core, then I don't know what I'd be taking right now. I'd probably be knee deep in some random dance basket weaving thing. I don't know, but I feel like it's a good sort of middle ground between dictating everything that you have to do like high school or something, between just anarchy. And I know that personally I'd take advantage of anarchy in the worst possible way. So, while I feel like some things may not be necessary to everyone's particular track, I do appreciate sort of the structure that it provides. And there are classes that I've taken that I've enjoyed that I probably would not have taken if they had not fulfilled the core requirement. So that's always a pleasant surprise for me.
So do you experience a lot of stress completing that homework, or is it generally not that much more than high school?
For me, it's generally not that much more than high school, because I know the assignments that I have, and I know the timeline in which need to be done, and so I guess it's really good at managing when I can do the work and when I can do things that I enjoy.
So now, how have you handled academic rigor?
It's a lot. Coming to this school, I think you have to know that it is going to be a lot. But something that surprised me was this wonderful community that you get when you're working, and you get to learn with other people. So whenever I'm working on something, I'm never really alone. Whether it's a paper or it's a piece set, there are always people to ask questions with, and we get to work through it together, which is really awesome.
I think that it's just kind of about finding things outside of school and work, because I think that you're never gonna think that you're done. I guess there's always something else to do. So like there's always more reading to do, or there's always like a piece set to work on. But if you spend all your time doing that, then I don't think that that's like a good use of your time, and also you're not going to be happy. So like for me, that's dance. Like I'm in the ballet, and that's something I really, really enjoy. And I think that like taking time out of my day to like do that is kind of what helps me like cope with the stress, and like even knowing that I have work to do, like I can forget about that like while I'm dancing.
So my house is Booth House at International House with Dormitory, and it's a very tight knit, I'd say, family of just people from really different places, and we just really celebrate that fact. And it's really interesting because out of all of my classmates that I like still contact with from high school that are telling me about like their kind of dorm culture and like what they do with like their dorm mates, it's a very stark difference like what I have here at Booth, particularly because we're all so close. It's really strange how close we all are. It's we can all talk to each other about, you know, like our favorite shows one day, and we get into like a really deep conversation about what it means to like live your life to the fullest the next day. It's really insane, actually. We all just care so much about each other. We all like continuously support each other with like what we do outside of class, like just like going to each other's like dances and events and like concerts, all that stuff, and just like we all mean the heck out of each other too, which is like it's really fun, to be honest, because like there are certain words that and like phrases that you associate with certain people, and it's really fun that how I can just kind of like just smirk to myself when I think about this random thing that just reminds me of someone that I know because of the things that they say and like all their different nuances. And it's really hard to put into words because it's an experience that you can't really put into words. You can try to capture it through like video, and you know, I guess that'd be your best bet at kind of explaining the kind of like love and like just feelings of helpfulness and bonding and all that good jazz. Yeah.
I guess just for other like house culture things, my house I've been very involved in my house culture, and it has brought me like so much joy. And one thing that I actually really appreciate is I'm an avid fan of The Bachelor, and I brought that into like my house, and we started watching it on Friday nights, and they really just accepted it and like brought it into our culture. And we had this big thing where we'll all come in and watch and like get very invested in the contestants, and it makes me feel so accepted and so happy that something that I love has become a part of this house. Like part of me is part of Booth.
That was great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Allison.
Yay!
This has been so fun.
Woo! I'm glad I could help.
Thank you so much. This can be the blooper reel for the booth.
I feel like
but
100%
I can't
of my stuff
submit
is going to be
this.
on the blooper reel. Okay. Can you cut to me talking about Booth straight away? John Booth, who famously murdered the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. And that sort of comes through in every sort of aspect of house life. We're pro-slavery. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna...
Okay, can we...
No,
think more of like pamphlet.
Pamphlets, not slavery.
Not slavery.
Not slavery. My mind is so open. It's so open that someone convinced me into accepting slavery the other day.
Yeah, so why did you decide to come to the University of Chicago?
Wait, I'm at the University of Chicago? I thought this was the University of California, Chicago. Wait, okay.
I see how you're feeding me more things to say because you know I'm gonna go somewhere stupid.
Trying to rein it in.
I'm sorry. I just love the professors here. I love one so much that I found out where he lived. I stole his clothes and I put them on.
What's the weather in Chicago like?
It's so cold. Oh my gosh. Oh man.
It just contributes to your overall growth as a person and like as a citizen of these here United States of America.
And in my surreal mental state, Dean Boyer rode towards me slowly on his bicycle. This is when I knew that the LSD had kicked in.
A fun place. Also, Vsauce from here, and Vsauce is an amazing person, so that's maybe you can add it to the cheesy bit.
Like
I Am
milkshake one. I am sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then for the real one, what was the what's
I
the
don't think I
holiday
ever
called?
contributed to I Am Sports.
Because the atmosphere. Because the life of the mind.
Only wear shorts like all the time and like t-shirts. Like basically, okay, so it might sound crazy, but what will happen is you will habituate yourself to like below 0 temperatures, and then all of a sudden when like the next polar vortex hits because of like, you know, like climate change and all that junk, you'll be basically like a block of ice. Like you'll be chilling. You'll literally be chilling. It'll be negative 120 degrees wind chill. You'll be in Antarctica. It'll be on the headlines, and you'll just be like out there like easy. No big deal. It's fine. I'm good.
Yeah. So the core is it's just like a perfect taste of everything, you know? It's like sampling cheese, but with classes.
When I ask myself, what do I do for fun here at UChicago? I scoff at the question. Ha! That's me scoffing. Scoffed at your question.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yep. There you go. I see. What is this? 13.5. It's 13.5. I'm wrong. 8 plus 4.5 is 12.
It's
5 plus. Oh, it's minus. I see. Wow. I'm dumb. I'm actually dumb. Oh boy.